Hey, what is up, everybody? I am here to give you my WWE NXT review for September 2nd, 2015. Um, and let me get right into the show. So, we had Rich Brennan and Corey Graves on commentary for this show, and it kicked right off with the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classics tournament. They started the tournament on this show. I'm glad they're doing the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classics for a number of reasons. I think it's just a lot of good. This is a way to pay tribute to the American Dream, baby, Dusty Rhodes, and I really like that they're doing that. Because Dusty Rhodes did a lot for NXT. Like William Regal said a couple of weeks ago, NXT wouldn't really. Dusty Rhodes really made NXT what it was. He helped all the NXT superstars out. He made NXT as great as it was. So I'm glad they're doing this. Another reason is one, as I'm just a sucker for tournaments. I love tournaments, and you know, I just think that it's just tournaments are great. I think they're just a simple way to keep wrestling interesting. It's a way to know that you've really earned something, and I just like tournaments. Another reason it's something that they need something after NXT Takeover. I thought that was a good show, but I think it's just it's something to look forward to watch an episode of NXT every week. It's something that they can build off of without having to do anything too complicated. So I'm a fan of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classics. And then we had the first match on this show. This was the first round tournament match. It was the Ascension, which consists of Connor and Victor, versus Baron Corbin and Rhino. Really nice to see the Ascension back on NXT. This is really where they belong because they were the longest reigning NXT Tag Team Champions, and they were just really dominant on NXT. They had to come out with that stupid gimmick though from the WWE. I think that's stupid. It's I kind of wish they could have just for one night come out as themselves, the way they were on NXT. But it was still cool to see them back on NXT, and they were great. They dominated. They took Baron Corbin and just threw him right into the steel post, right to the turnbuckle, and they did the wow, and they would do those stomps in the corner. I actually forgot they did that move because of the way they being jobbed out on the main roster. I actually forgot they even did that move. And Baron Corbin and Rhino get the heat on Connor actually, and then Victor comes in the ring, he cleans house, and the Ascension go to hit the Fallen Man on Rhino, and Baron Corbin pulls Connor out, and then Rhino beats Victor with a spear. I thought this was great. I actually kind of like Rhino and Baron Corbin as a tag team together. And I can understand because the Ascension, this was the way to put them over because the Ascension are doing things on Raw and SmackDown. Not necessarily better things, but they're main roster guys now, so they don't really need to win on NXT. I don't think they can really fit into their schedule to show up on every NXT, so that's probably another reason too. Next, Neville and Solomon Crowe got interviewed, and Neville said he's honored to be participated in this tournament because of everything that Dusty Rhodes did for him in his career, and he says that he wouldn't be where he is without Dusty Rhodes. And Solomon Crowe, I forget what he says, but he cuts like a little bit of a crazy promo. And Neville says that was weird, but I agree with everything he just said. I thought it was great. And I just thought, and I'm glad that he's incorporating some people from NXT like Neville and the Ascension, because I think that's the way to pay tribute to Dusty Rhodes as well. Because I think a lot of people are going to be pissed that they're not putting like actual tag teams in this tournament, but I think they actually want to be in this tournament because of what Dusty Rhodes did for them, and this is their tribute to Dusty Rhodes. So I think that's why they're in this tournament. Next, it showed another Nia Jax video package, talking about how she's just going to dominate everybody in NXT and scrap them up and just destroy them. I thought that was a great video package, and I can't wait to see her debut. Next was Alexa Bliss versus Blue Pants. A match that had a purpose of happening because of what happened at TakeOver. And Alexa Bliss pretty much destroyed her and won with the Fallen Star, I think it's called. I forget what it's called, but it was like a when she does that moonsault off the top, not the moonsault, but the flip off the top rope. I'm just gonna call it the Fallen Star, but it's called something else. Um, I thought it was pretty cool. Alexa Bliss was very aggressive in this match, very pissed off. And then William Regal and a new tag team that's debuted is backstage. I don't remember the name of this tag team, but one of them is Tommaso, and he's actually on Ring of Honor. Well, he was anyways. So I think he's up on NXT now. I think that's cool. Tommaso was a good wrestler. I don't really know much about the other guy, but from what I've seen of Tommaso on Ring of Honor, I've only watched like one match, but that match he had was really good. So, you know. And William Regal tells him they're going to be in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classics. And Tyler Breeze walks in and says that he wants in on this Tag Team Classics. And he says he told him at TakeOver to find a opponent, to find him like the best opponent for him possible. And he did that, so he wants William Regal to find him the best Tag Team partner. And William Regal picks Bo Dempsey. I don't know why he picked Bo Dempsey, but he did. And Tyler Breeze is like, okay, that's fine. No matter who is my partner, I'm going to win this thing. So Tyler Breeze obviously ain't winning this thing. And then Emma's backstage, and Emma talks about how that the Divas Revolution on Raw, that's going on Raw and SmackDown, really started with her and Paige after what they did in NXT Arrival. So, and which is a kind of a good point. And she says that she's coming after the NXT Women's title. I thought that was a pretty good promo by Emma. And then we had Apollo Crews versus Martin Stone. Apollo Crews wins with the Luthez press into the standing moonsault. I like how they're featuring Apollo Crews right now by just making him have these matches right now. It's really showing his talent. Obviously, eventually they're going to have to get him into a feud, but right now I think they just want to make him really dominant right now, like what you want to do with a new wrestler. Then we had Jason Jordan and Chad Gable get interviewed, and Jason Jordan says that it doesn't really matter with what's going on with Neville, and Solomon Crowe, and Chad Gable says that they're going to make their dreams a nightmare because they're willing. And Jason Jordan says that they're the best tag team on NXT right now. They're going to win the whole tag team, Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classics. And Chad Gable says they're ready, willing, and he has Jason Jordan said Gable's like, see, I knew eventually you'd say it. I thought it was funny. I like them as a tag team. That was funny and a great promo by them. And then Finn Balor gets interviewed, and he talks about how he's looking forward to to continuously defend his NXT championship on a consistent basis, because that he knows how hard it's going to be. But he's also announced to be in the the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classics, and he's going to be teaming up with Samoa Joe. And Samoa Joe says that they're not just going to be in it; they're going to win the whole thing. And I think that's cool. I think they could do a good as a tag team. I don't know if they're going to use this either to set up maybe a future NXT title match between these two. I would like to see that. I'd like the next NXT takeover. Maybe like when they have their match, one of them screws the other by accident, or one of them turns heel or something. But I don't really want to see Samoa Joe as a heel. Finn Balor could be interesting as a heel. So I think that could be cool. We have to wait and see. And then we had Eva Marie versus Billie Kay. Billie Kay actually ended up hitting a suplex on Eva Marie. And she actually had her down for a 3 count. It would have been 3, but obviously it wasn't booked to happen that way, so the referee couldn't count 3. So the crowds booed the shit out of Eva Marie after that happened, because they knew it was 3. It was 3. There was no bullshitting about it. And but then Eva Marie wins with the sliced bread. But I actually like this. The botch actually made the match even better. It gave Eva Marie more heat, because technically she should have won this match. She should have lost this match, and she didn't. So I actually like that. It was mainly Eva Marie's fault. She didn't get her shoulder up in time, but you know. So I actually think the botch is gonna get Eva Marie a little bit more heat. And then Enzo Amore, Colin Cassidy, and the Hype Bros. And the Hype Bros consist of Mojo, Wally, and Zack Ryder get interviewed, and they talk about how it was sick that they got that win at the 8-man tag team match at the last week's episode of NXT, and Enzo Amore talk about how they planned on winning anyway, so it's not like it's a big surprise or anything, which is I'm glad he actually says that, because normally when wrestlers say that, like it is pumped to win matches, but I like that he says that, because you know, you shouldn't be, I don't know. I just like that he said that. It was something no one's ever said before. And then they talk about how they're going to go out and party. I thought it was good stuff because it's their characters, and I like all these teams. And then we had the main event, Neville and Solomon Crowe versus Jason Jordan and Chad Gable in the second Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classics first round tournament match. And this was a great tag team match. I really enjoyed it. Solomon Crowe had a 6-drop toe hold on Jason Jordan. No, I think he hit it on Chad Gable. And then Neville hit some sick stuff, like he hit a sick with Carano in this match. He hit a sick Insecurity. I thought it was cool. And Chad Gable and Jason Jordan get the heat on Solomon Crowe for a while. They do the 6, and actually Jason Jordan even tried to do like like he was gonna suplex Neville, but he ended up doing a roll up. I thought that was cool. And Chad Gable puts like his red towel that says Gable out, and Jason Jordan like charges at him like he's a bull. I thought that was really cool. And then eventually Neville gets the hot tag on Jason Jordan. He starts going off on him. He goes to hit the red arrow on him, but Chad Gable pulls him outside the ring, and Neville dives on Gable, and then Solomon Crowe dives on Jason Jordan. They both get back in the ring. Neville hits a super kick on Jordan. Solomon Crowe tags himself in, and he goes to do a Hurricane on Gable, but as he's going for it, Gable acts like he's going to counter into a powerbomb, but instead he switches it into a belly-to-back throw, which I thought was awesome. I thought that was sick. And then Jason Jordan and Chad Gable hit the... when Jordan does the back suplex, he throws him up, and then Gable catches him and does the back suplex and gets the win. I think that was this was a great tag team match, and I thought this was a great booking decision to have Jason Jordan and Chad Gable win this match. Because they're the tag team on NXT, and they just put them together as a tag team. I think it kind of would have buried them if they lost this match, so I thought it was a great idea. I kind of want to see them win the tag team tournament right now. And that's really it for this week's episode of NXT. That's all that happened. I thought this was a great episode of NXT. Everything actually was at least good to great on the show. The tag team matches were really good on the show, and I'm really looking forward to watching these next few episodes of NXT for the Tag Team Classics. The debut of Tommaso, I thought was cool. Apollo Crews, I liked the way they featured Apollo Crews. The Diva match, the woman matches were pretty good. And yeah, this is a great episode of NXT, really enjoyable. So that's my video this week, well, for this episode. And I'll be back to do another one at some other point in time. You can check out my other YouTube channels, Owen the Talkinator, where I talk about non-wrestling things up there. CM Brothers, where I talk about both wrestling and non-wrestling things down there. My friend James Hebert has 2 YouTube channels. One's called Raymond Youth Wrestling, is right there. He talks about, he's going to be doing a tournament filled with 32, I don't remember how many in it, I say it every week, but filled with 32 or 33, I forget, it's around that time. Filled with that, but I'm one of those people in the tournament. I don't know why I'm botching all over the place. And then over here you can check out his James Hebert channel where he talks about, where he makes custom Titans, and then you can click down below to subscribe. I was all over the place. I don't know why. I was just botching all over the place in this video. It's like I never made a YouTube video before. I have no idea why I botched all over the place, but I did. So I hope you still subscribe even though I botched all over the place. But you're not going to get perfect videos every time, right?